Winehouse takes up like 15 of those or so. But it really is tragic when someone's life has ended that soon.
Yeah.
I didn't listen to her music personally, but I know she was a big influence on a lot of people. So, whose score pad is that at the top of?
It was on Charles. At the bottom of it, he had it facing us, and I just saw it right before he took it off.
Oh. Indeed, it is sad. Yeah, I first thought it was a joke when I saw it on Twitter. I was like, it can't be real, but it is.
No, so who do you think has the edge here?
I'm going to give the edge to Greg Peloquin. Or, sorry, to Charles Wong.
Wong?
I feel like traditionally... So Greg has the combo in it. So Greg's deck does have the combo, which is very good. It's mono red, but he doesn't have as many ways to filter for it as the traditional Splinter Twin deck does. Charles Wong... mono red is traditionally very favored against the rug decks.
Yeah.
I mean, it smashes the rug decks. So the only thing Greg really has going for him in this instance is the combo. So he has to find the combo, be really aggressive about finding the combo, see if he can assemble it. And any resistance Charles Wong's going to throw at him is not going to help matters. All right, Greg taking him another mulligan.
Are you sure this wasn't his first? Because I
think this might have been his first. I think before...
Yeah, they were rolling dice. They're just shuffling.
Yeah, they were just shuffling.
Yeah, they just finished the dice roll. So this is his first mulligan.
So...
I mean, I actually don't know this. Do top 8 competitors get their opponent's deck lists?
They do get their opponent's deck lists. So they both know all the tricks in their decks.
All right.
And we'll have deck lists for you here in just a second. Do you also feel the same, like Greg Peloquin has the advantage in this matchup? Charles Wong has the advantage in this matchup?
I feel that Mono Red's probably got the matchup. Just for the fact that it's aggressive and the rug deck is kind of all over the place with combo plus like non-combo. And I feel like just having just a straight like threat base that Charles has is just going to get him there.
Yeah, I think Charles is definitely favored. Once again, we'll see deck list here in a second, but I think Charles is just ahead in this matchup. I mean, mono red was like rugs. When Alex Bertini was playing a bunch of rug, red was the deck he least wanted to face. He said that every single time. And the Splinter Twin combo helps, but...
All right, so Charles Wong, we'll get you in a second over to actual board.
Yeah, but so it looks like Greg preordained on his first turn. He picked up 2 cards, so I imagine that's what was going on there. And Greg... Yeah, we'll get the camera fixed in just a second. One sec, guys. But so, by the fact that Greg revealed his top card, I imagine Charles cast a Goblin Guide. And let's see. Goblin Guide down. Greg picks up his card. And here we go. So the board is Charles Wong, Goblin Guide, Furnace Scamp versus Greg Peloquin's Island. He's cracking his Misty Rainforest now.
He didn't start with that Goblin Guide, so it must have been off the top.
It's shown up a little late. So here we go. Deck list just in. So Greg Peloquin. Let's look over Charles Wong's deck first. Charles Wong is... Just gotta find it real fast. There we go. Okay, so Charles Wong. 4 Goblin Guide, 4 Grim Lavamancer, 4 Furnace Scamp, 4 Chandra's Phoenix.
That's pretty interesting.
4 Flame Slash, 4 Lightning Bolt, 4 Arc Trail, 4 Searing Blaze, 4 Shrine, 4 Stagger Shock. So 4 ofs all the way down. And Chandra's Phoenix.
That's pretty interesting. I like that. Like, seems like so much value with like block, trade, Searing Blaze, like get it back.
Yeah. So in the meantime,
there's Searing Blaze.
There's Searing Blaze on Lotus Cobra. Serve in for 3.
I think the worst feeling in the world is like when you're on the play and you have a Lotus Cobra and you go like land, they go Goblin Guide, and then you Cobra and then there's Searing Blaze attacking and you're at 17 or 13.
When do you think the right time is to crack your Furnace Scamp in general?
In a matchup like this where you have a ton of burn and he's trying to combo as soon as possible.
You're just the first hit?
I think so. I mean, you might miss 1 point of damage, but like you're hedging on like not missing, 3.
So looking down the list of Greg Peloquin's deck list here, he's got 4 Lotus Cobra, 4 Explorer, 4 Preordain, 4 Deceiver Exarch, 3 Splinter Twin, 3 Inferno Titan, 3 Mana Leak, 2 Spellskite, 2 Dismember, a Wormcoil Engine, an Oracle of Moldiah, a bunch of lands.
Yeah. I mean, I think that snap off was probably a little early, but he's at 5 life. Like, I bet Charles just untaps and kills him now.
Yeah, it seems right. Charles has a grip. You see Stagger Shock hiding in there, Arc Trail. Yeah, the players just pack it in. This
That was blistering fast.
So this rug list, we haven't really seen a rug twin list for a while. I don't know if you're using Birthing Pod. I was talking to a player around here, Brandon McDonough, and he built this deck this morning and gave it to, and came to the site, told a bunch of players about it, and 3 people played the deck. They all finished X2 or better, I believe, which is pretty insane. So Rug Twin might be a deck to watch for this coming up. A lot of people have been going for the Birthing Pod route, but maybe you just shoot the pods entirely. Go straight for the old-fashioned way.
Yeah. So while they're sideboarding, like today, we just watched 9 rounds of Magic. What's the deck that you like the most today?
Deck that I like the most? I liked the Pyromancer, or the Splinter Twin deck with all the Phyrexian mana cards.
Yeah, we were watching that earlier.
Really cool. I like John Lapp's deck a lot. Sucker for that. How about you?
I really like Edgar Forge's take on Cobblade.
Oh yeah, I think as far as like good decks go, like
that's what I'm talking
totally
about,
streamlined, like powerful decks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like those decks because they're out of ordinary.
If we're going goofy, I'm going with Conley's
Conley's Land
Deceiver deck.
In the meantime, so we're in between games 1 and 2 here. So we're about to give away 3 months of StarCityGames.com Premium.
I've never done this before.
I know, it's pretty exciting. So the way this works is I'm going to ask you guys a question, and you're going to respond on Twitter using the hashtag SCGPremium.
Yep.
And so just answer the question. You don't have to direct it at us. Just have the hashtag in there. It's very important. And we'll pick one person who answers it correctly at the end of the match, and that person will win 3 months of StarCityGames.com Premium. You'll get articles by Brad Nelson, Patrick Chapin, Brian Kibler, Mike Flores,
Jerry Thompson. There's a big list.
Huge list. People who top 8 this tournament might write reports, right? Some of the best stuff in Magic. So, once again, I'm going to ask a question, hashtag SCG Premium on StarCityGames.com. Very important. So, here's the question. Not long ago, right before the top 8 started, we had someone in here for an interview thinking he had just drawn into top 8. He ended up in 9th place. Who was it? Tell us who it was.
I think I know who it is.
I know who it is too. That helps that I've got the standings in front of me.
No, that's the wrong standings.
Or I guess these are the round 8 standings. But anyway, so we had an interview in here. They drew, ended up in 9th place, unfortunately. Who was it? Tell us who it was. You could win 3 months of Star City Games Premium. Stay tuned.
That's sad that happened. I didn't even know that happened.
Yeah, it's how things worked out. It's not the first time matches. Basically, the way matches broke. I think if Mike Thompson had won, Adam Prozac would have. Adam Prozac won. Other players might have edged him out on breakers, but we'll see what happens. Anyway.
So let's see if we can actually see this Rug Twin deck take him out of the first 4 turns.
I mean, looking at a sideboard, I see Flash Freeze, Obstinate Bailoff. Those are both reasonable cards, I guess. Spellskite, Pyroclasm. Flash Freeze, Obstinate Bailoff, Spellskite, Pyroclasm are all pretty reasonable. Other than that, what do you think he would be taking out is the bigger question for me.
I mean, cards that seem really bad are like Oracle, Mana Leak's pretty bad, maybe even a Infernal Titan or 2. Especially if you're bringing in like Bailoffs and like I think Spellskite will be good, Flash Freeze.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're bringing those cards. Question is just, Mana Leak, I agree. Mana Leak comes out.
Especially if he saw his deck list and he knows he doesn't run that many creatures, Dismember probably gets cut too.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about Dismember. It's been split. Like if you Dismember turn 1 Goblin Guide, you save yourself a lot of damage, but at the same time, there's better cards you could have sometimes. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about Dismember in this matchup?
I think it's fine. I think I would definitely keep it in, but I can definitely see an argument of taking it out if somebody knows the matchup better than I do so far.
Yeah, I could see taking Dismember out here. So if he's looking to bring in 3, 6, 7, maybe up to 10 cards, I think the cards we'll see cut are 3 Mana Leaks, 2 Dismembers. After that,
an Oracle.
Yeah, an Oracle, and maybe a couple
of
Titans, yeah. Those are cards I see getting rid of. As far as Charles's goes, he'd probably Dismember, maybe Mana Barbs, Active Aggression for sure, if he thinks that's the only way he can lose. I think probably Active Aggression is the main card that comes in here in Dismember.
I don't really like Active Aggression.
No? Even though he has the combo in his deck?
You have the combo, and I don't think you bring Mana Barbs in because you're just like you're actually playing into their combo that way.
I agree. I think Dismember
you have to hold the mana up, and you still have cards that kill it. Like Act will probably come in. I would rather have Dismember in my deck than Act, just because it's so much cheaper.
I agree. Plus it kills Lotus Cobra and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think Act will come in.
You really don't think he'll bring Act in here? I mean, the problem is I guess you don't want to bring in 7 reactive cards, right?
Yeah.
That's a big one. All right, so Charles Wong, turn 1 Grim Lavamancer. So Charles, for those who are wondering, there's this weird thing where he sleeves all of his cards backwards. You see the Ultra Pro mark on the top of the sleeve?
Oh, yeah, I do see that.
So if you're wondering what's going on, if it's some weird camera glare, it's actually just how he sleeves his cards. Everyone's got to be different somehow. So Greg goes, turn 2, I think that's a Lotus Cobra,
yeah,
right?
That's just another Cobra.
And Charles is probably just going to kill that.
Does he have the same blues?
Oh, serves in with both of them. Flips up a Ponder.
Does he not have a land?
We're about to find out. If he doesn't have a land, it could be rough times for Charles Wong. I think he's got a land in there. No. Oh, it just passes. This might be what the boost Craig Peloquin needs. That Lotus Cobra is active. The mana is online. Passes back.
No. He's getting a land.
Oh, he cast Ponder. Sorry. Once again, we've learned so much from the gestures people just make. There's like thrust it towards. I remember we were watching someone a couple weeks ago who would just like point towards his opponent whenever he was activating an ability, and it was like, when is he passing the turn and when is he not passing the turn? It's interesting to see all the different gestures people have. But anyway, so Greg goes for the Ponder, leaves the cards there, draws one off the top.
Probably gonna shuffle, maybe play Baloth. I just want to see that.
Attack for 2. Lotus Cobra gets in. Greg knows he's not going to be blocking, so Charles stuck on 1 land.
Didn't get there either.
And serves him for 3. All right, yeah, Charles serves him for 3. Greg cracks a Scalding Tarn.
He's just going to deceive her right now.
Yeah, it seems like the right time to do it. Now, it's possible Charles has like a Dismember or something in his hand, but we'll find out.
I don't think he does. I think he kept a greedy hand and he's getting caught.
Yeah, I mean, keeping a 1-lander is just really dangerous. I'm trying to see what's in his hand that he would have kept. I see another Grim Lavamancer, and that's really the only card I can make out.
Just a bunch of cheap, like, red spells trying to be really super aggressive. If you draw 1 more land, he would have just probably been able to curve out. Alright, is this over?
Well, maybe he might just have the twin. That could be it. Flips over Splinter Twin off the Goblin Guide. So, as if, all right, well, do you have the land?
That's awesome.
That's the best way to do it. That's the only way to do it, right?
And he actually doesn't have the land
And
yet.
best part is he even pondered. So, well, yeah, but if he finds land here, with the Lotus Cobra will still let him cast the twin this turn. Assuming that it comes into play untapped.
Is he slow? I mean, it'd be a pretty savage slow roll. Tank, just show him the island.
I ships them both to the bottom. If he finds the untapped land here, he's got Charles.
I didn't.
No, gonna have to wait. There's another Lotus Cobra. Now Charles knows that Greg can kill him at any time if he's got Dismember and mana's being left up. Alright, in comes Lotus Cobra, gonna serve Charles down to 16 life.
And just play another Cobra.
Cobra. Charles fails to draw a land again, so I'm seeing Searing Blaze. Flame slashes down that X-Arc.
It's interesting that a Flame Slash killed the Deceiver.
Yeah, don't see that one happen too often. Alright, so Charles still in a pretty precarious position though. 1 land,
Yeah,
not a lot of
pretty
action. Flips up a Spell Skite, no less.
Things get worse.
Now Greg still no land, but I think you probably just trade a Cobra off with the guy here, right? I mean, Spell Skite is going to make sure it doesn't block anymore, and oh, Greg opts to take the damage. I guess if you want to be aggressive with your Cobras too and capitalize.
Oh, yeah, you want to keep them, and yeah.
Spell Skite will blank his Goblin Guide attacks.
I mean, if your opponent's down, you can capitalize on it right now, and plus they're Lotus Cobras. They're really valuable if he draws a couple more lands. Now I think he's contemplating either playing Spell Skite or just holding up Mana Leak, and he's just going to end up. Oh, he's just Deceivering.
Oh, Deceiver's upkeep? Yeah, that seems fine to me.
Oh, yeah.
And that way, if he draws a land, he has them again. I think Charles still without a land in his hands. Man. I mean, the odds of him not finding a land by now, pretty low. Even with 20 lands in your deck. Alright, so he just discards, passes back. Does Greg find a land? Alright, there's a land, there's Splinter Twin.
Yeah, that's game 2.
And that's game 2. So it's 2 lightning fast games. 2 lightning fast games, and now we are off to game 3 between these 2 players.
It's kind of a sneak for Greg. Like, I still feel like Charles drew a couple extra lands, it would just wouldn't even been close.
Yeah, I agree. I think if Charles just keeps a safe hand this time around, he gets a reasonable draw, he'll beat Greg. As long as
I mean, he feels like there I could see him feeling invincible. Like, and he's probably made a couple of decisions. Like, if you take Mono Red to a tournament, like there are times where you keep a one land or draw your second land, or there are times when you just keep kind of a shaky hand because you have to. Like, that's how Mono Red gets to positions to win. You have to like make your own luck sometimes.
I agree entirely. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, you have to. Sometimes you just keep your one lander on the draw. You're like, well, if I draw a land, I win this game, right? And that's
or have a really good chance of winning.
Right.
And that's what scares me about playing Mono Red. I've learned that when I played Mono Red earlier this season in a tournament, and I never really understood that until I played it. Like, you have to make your own luck sometimes.
Yeah, and sometimes you get there, sometimes you don't. Charles, so Charles gave up that one based on the hand he had. Now, the way Greg can win this matchup is if he deploys, turn 3 twin, turn 4 split, or turn 3 XR, turn 4 twin, and so he gives Charles an opportunity to potentially do that here. Or, sorry, Charles gives Greg an opportunity to potentially do that here. He has to be very careful. Because if that happens, he might just lose. So we'll see what ends up happening. Charles went back to his sideboard.
I mean, that's actually getting to turn 4. Like, that doesn't always happen.
That's true, especially Charles probably brought in Dismember, I would imagine.
I think Dismember's a safe call. He also kept Flame Slash. I feel like I would just not have Flame Slash in my deck and just have Dismember.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, I think it depends how many reactive cards you want, once again. I mean, if you really want ways to deal with Lotus Cobra, maybe you board out some of those on the play, on the draw. Yeah.
And Arc Trails, and
I mean, maybe
he probably boarded Arc Trail out.
Maybe he brought in Active Aggression, too.
He probably, well, that's a lot of spells to, like...
Well, he could swap Axe for some Flame Slashes or something. Also, who knows, maybe he kept like one Flame Slash in and just had it that game, right? So it could be any number of factors. Charles, looking tired.
A little quick cat nap.
Yeah, it's been a long day. The first PTQ he ever won, he didn't sleep the night before, and he just...
That was my story, too. I hear a lot of those, like, a lot of people win their tournament or they didn't sleep, and I don't understand how that works.
And yet, you're like, I mean, I did. I don't know how I did it.
Yeah.
What format was yours?
Extended with Tezzeret.
Tezzerator. His was Shards of Alara sealed deck. So we drafted in the top 8 and just like made multiple mispicks, and then the mispicks worked out in his favor. It was insane. So and then he went to the Pro Tour for the first time. Staple Seattle player. Great guy.
Look at those eyes. He just like looked at 7 and he was like, I'm ready. I have a Goblin Guide.
Yeah, you can just tell.
Yeah, you can tell. They have that look of owning a Goblin Guide. He just has that pure dominance.
Why would I ever want anything else,
Yeah.
Turn 1 guide comes down. Serves for 2. Great Peloquin. Reveals Splinter Twin. So there's a twin on top of Greg's deck.
I think that Greg wants right now.
Well, Greg was missing the other half of the combo. It could be something. Greg plays a turn with Halmar Adepts. Maybe he's got Pyroclasm on turn 2.
I do see Dismember in Charles' hand and a Searing Blaze.
Oh my. Yeah, that's if Greg is relying on the Deceiver Exarch, it could be a rough road. John Boyer on Twitter points out that when Charles picked up his deck after game 2, Active Aggression was on the bottom, so he did board in the Axe. I missed that.
That's a good card.
Greg flips over Explore. Not quite a land. One-sided Telepathy Goblin gets there again. Charles just plays land and passes this time, though.
No green?
No 2-drop to follow it up. Doesn't look like a green mana for Greg Peloquin. Taps this, though. Think we'll see a Spellskite?
That's a definitely good possibility.
And if we see that, is Charles just going to go for a Dismember?
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, Dismembering Spellskite often seems like the correct call, but...
I mean, could he actually just attack into it in Searing Blaze, too?
That's also definitely
because, like, then what if he has a Deceiver and he doesn't have the right spell? See, I think Charles has 2 Searing Blazes and a Dismember right now, and I don't know the rest of his hand, but I think there's a land. And so if he Dismembers now, and he already knows that he has one side of the combo, so if he Deceivers, then he has to be able to kill that during his turn, and that might not be a possibility.
And let's see. So yeah, it seems like that's what Charles is thinking about right now. What sequence of plays? All right, so he's just gonna go for the Searing Blaze play.
He just wants to Searing Blaze it. I think he gave his opponent a lot of information there, too.
All right, so he drew Lightning Bolt. He's going to serve in. Greg flips up Deceiver XR, so he knows he's got the combo. Now he definitely wants the Searing Blaze. The question is...
Does Greg actually have all the lands to do all this?
Yeah, exactly. We know he doesn't have a green land.
And he just takes it.
Or at least we don't think he has a green land. Yeah, he just takes it. I think if Greg's going for the combo, that's a good play. All right, Flame Slash. Ooh.
He had Flame Slash?
Wow, the post-combat Flame Slash. That is some tight play right there.
Yeah, that's pretty insane.
A lot of players would have just jammed that out there immediately, but...
That was very impressive.
That was a great play by Charles Wong there. He paused long enough at the end of Greg's turn that I thought for sure he was just thinking between Dismember or Searing Blaze. And then
that was very impressive.
That was really good. And it's like, I think Charles...
What's his even line for doing that, though? Why wouldn't you just Flame Slash, like...
So I think he wants to be able to Searing Blaze if possible, but if he didn't block, he wanted to just Flame Slash. So Edgar Flores, report from the back table. Edgar Flores beat Alex, continuing to be undefeated in this tournament. His 75 making it to at least the semifinals. All right, so down comes Deceiver Exarch, taps down that mountain.
And he's going to respond with this.
Taps 2 mana. So if he's floating 1, does that mean we're going to see Bolt, Searing Blaze?
Plus Searing Blaze.
Seems likely. Just getting some more damage. All right, so Searing Blaze, Lightning Bolt on that guy.
Oh, yeah, no Dismember.
And that'll drop Greg down to 8, followed by 6 from the guide. So Greg is well within burn range.
Oh yeah, it's looking really bad for Greg.
Down comes
some strong play from Charles.
Yeah,
I do like it because if he gets to block and use a Searing Blaze, then that's an extra damage. So he deals 1 more damage, and he still has removal spells in hand.
Right. There's a Force for Greg Peloquin, G Pelly. And there's that Lotus Cobra?
Yeah.
Alright, Lotus Cobra comes down for Greg Peloquin. Now let's see what goes on here.
If Charles has a land, then he gets a Searing Blaze, but he still can just Searing Blaze.
He has another Goblin Guide. Alright, so there's the guide.
Searing Blaze for 1.
Gonna try and Searing Blaze that. 1 to Cobra, 1 to you. Do you have any responses? Alright, so that dies.
Now the fetch land can't ever be activated.
Greg drops to 5, then
down to 1.
We'll go to 1 life. Gets a Copperland Gorge off one guide, sees a Preordain off the other. So Greg's at 1, that Scalding Tarnished play. That Scalding Tarnished play is of no use. Does Greg have an out here?
I think Charles is getting up early tomorrow.
It is. Charles had to rearrange his work schedule to be able to play this finals. He almost conceded just because he had work in the morning, yeah.
Oh, wow.
But he called up his work, explained the situation, and managed to switch it up. All right, Greg puts 1 on top, 1 on bottom. Maybe he sees an out. Down comes Copperland Gorge, taps 2. Is that a Spellskite? Okay, there's a Spellskite.
What's he gonna do? He's at 1 life.
I think that should be it.
I don't think you can redirect damage, can you?
For paying 2 life.
Yeah.
Involves Charles playing poorly for Greg Peloquin to win this game, I think.
I don't think you can play poorly enough.
Not attack.
I mean, it's just attacking, right? Unless he's gonna he brought in Nature's Claim, which I don't believe is true.
Yeah, it seems unlikely. Unless he wants to kill Shrine of Burning Rage, I guess. Reveals a land. Oh, he has Nature's Claim in his hand.
He does, yeah.
Wow. Inferno Titan on the top. So he's going to block there. Nature's Claim's okay, but I think Charles might have the burn spell in response.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he does. Nature's Claim, Spellskite. Response. Searing Blaze, Spellskite. 1 to Spellskite, 1 to you.
1.
That is exactly lethal. Charles Wong. C. Wong versus G. Pelly. C. Wong advances to the top 4. Congratulations, Charles Wong, and well fought by Greg Peloquin. Still making top 8. Pretty nice accomplishment here at the Star City Games Open.
Oh yeah, 391.
Makes top 8. I believe that qualifies you for the Invitational.
Oh, sweet.
And Invitational, one of the best tournaments you can play in, really.
I can't wait to play in it. And what is it like?